As a hiker, you need your quads. They help you power up the mountain and come back down again while reducing your risk of knee and hip pain. But it's super easy to miss these 3 things about training your quads in the gym so that they actually make hiking easier when you're out on the trail. And I'll give you a link to a free 30-day hiking program that helps you use these tips, but we'll get to more of that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the 4 parts of your quadriceps muscles so you know how to train them right. Your quads live in the front of your thighs with your hip flexors. 3 of them attach to the top of your femur and then connect into your patellar tendon. And the last one actually originates on your pelvis, and you're going to want to remember that for later. Any exercise that extends the knee will use your quadriceps. Most importantly, using the quads while working in a single leg position transfers so well to hiking because it combines quad strength with hip stabilizing, which helps you avoid excessive knee valgus or excessive knee diving in or hip dipping on the trail. So, don't just do front squats to build your quads. Incorporate lateral step-ups, Polkwind step-downs, and lunges to a depth that works for you to use the muscles and strengthen them for the trail. And speaking of the trail, the uphills and downhills are going to use your quads in a different way. Going up, we use the quads concentrically, which means we use them while we are straightening the knee. And then on the way down, we use them eccentrically, which means we use our quadriceps to slow down the flexion of the knee. Not only does this slow lengthening have the potential to cause more muscle damage, it can often be forgotten when we work in the gym. I will see people plop down on the back part of their step up or dive bomb their squats and then wonder why their quads are strong in the gym but fall short on the trails. That's why you need to incorporate exercises where you start at the top of the movement and are really aware of how far you're moving down. I love to use a Polkwind step down for this because you're gently touching that heel against the ground before coming back up. Or step downs where you start at the top of the movement, you come down slowly to barely touch the ground and then move back up. In both cases, I want you to pay attention to what your hips are doing. Make sure you're not reaching for the ground by dropping one hip, and instead stay disciplined to keep those hips level. You can also just slow down the lowering part of your movement. In fact, try a squat where you take up to 4 seconds to get into your low position. That will be readying your brain and your muscles for a slow, safe descent. But, and I'm going to mention this as an aside, if you strengthen your quads like crazy and neglect the back half of your body, you might be setting yourself up for trouble. So at the end of this video, I want you to click on the end card for my video on using your glutes while hiking, and comment below if you want me to put together a video on my favorite hamstrings exercises. Finally, the quadriceps need length and strength. For most of us who are sitting most of the day, we can eventually over time have a reduction in the actual length of our quadriceps muscles. And if you remember earlier, we talked about one of those muscles connecting on the front of the pelvis. So that reduced quad length can actually pull your pelvis forward, and it's associated with knee pain and low back pain. I'll often see people go to stretch their quads, but go around the stretch instead. When I see most people do quad stretches, I'll see them do one of 2 things. The first is they'll super arch their back when they're getting into a quad stretch. Now, this traditional quad stretch also hits your hip flexors and that rectus femoris, which attaches on the pelvis. So by tilting it forward, you're actually making it less of a stretch for your quads. The second is they don't really care about the position of their knee while they're doing this stretch, and I'll typically see the knee way out to the side, and so they're not stretching all of their quad fibers equally. I find if you move your femur in line with your torso, you get more of a stretch through the quads. The easiest way to know you're doing this stretch right, and any stretch, is to be aware of where those quad muscles are and then just search for them in the stretch. As a bonus tip, if you spend 5 seconds pushing your ankle into your hand and then relaxing, you're actually going to be helping yourself get a deeper, better stretch. And after you increase the length of those quad muscles, make sure to use your quads through their new range of motion, locking that brain muscle connection in for the added length you've achieved. And of course, the whole goal of doing exercises in the gym is to help us enjoy the trails more. So I hope you got a lot from this video, and I would love it if you subscribe to get more tips like this to get you ready for the best hiking season of your life. Have a wilder day, and we'll talk to you guys soon.